It is June 2022, and we are cruising the Burg with Krista Postai, the CEO of Community Health Center, and many other things that we're going to find out about. Who is, I don't know, I'm not sure you can be more Pittsburgh than you are. So
No.
Thanks for making time today.
Thank you. I was actually born at Mount Carmel Hospital. I was born on the property I work on now. And anybody who knows me will tell you I plan on dying there too. So they're going to find me at my desk some Monday morning, hopefully. Not too smelly. But anyway, yes, I was born in Pittsburgh, 5th generation Kansan. My family actually was headed to Oklahoma for the land rush, and we were always late for things. So we missed it. Our wagon broke down by Cow Creek, and
Here you are.
here I am.
What about siblings?
Oh, none. I was the only child.
Of course you were.
I liked it that way. So because I don't know.
So you've become a leader in Pittsburgh in a lot of ways. What's kind of your motivation every day? I mean, what just drives you? You've achieved so much.
You know, I tell people that there are jobs and there's careers and there's callings, and I'm one of those fortunate folks who's found her calling. Told people on my headstone, all I want is she helped people. I have 3 beautiful daughters, Julie, Abby, and Megan. And Julie works at Community Health.
She's my neighbor.
Yeah, she is your neighbor. And she takes care of pregnant women and teenagers and kids who need extra help. Abby works at the Pittsburgh Library and just graduated from PSU with her art degree. And Meg is an artist and musician who's in business for herself and doing very well. She's going to be my rock star. My family had Postai's one-stop service at 3rd and Locust. It was started by my grandfather. We were open for more than 75 years. We gave credit to everybody. So we took care of everybody regardless of ability to pay, which kind of came back to bite him. But we were the first gas station in town to have service trucks. So we'd go out at 7 in the morning and jumpstart ladies' cars so they could get to the beauty shop. It was pretty important. My dad said one day one of them was going to die and leave them their Mustang, which only had like 12,000 miles on it, but it didn't happen. So I grew up dusting oil cans and counting tires.
Oh my!
And he wouldn't let me pump gas because girls didn't change oil or pump gas. And boy, the modern age has been quite a shock.
But you worked there full time?
I did not work. If $1 an hour is called is working, he told me, I asked him, how will I know I'm a success in life? He said, if you make $12,000 a year, you're a success.
You made it.
And while that was 1960, 70, I quickly realized that $12,000 a year was not going to cut it. So decided that my mother was an artist.
What kind of artist?
She did wearable art and was an amazing sewer. She and Tim Towner formed Rosetown Productions and Creations and sold their stuff in Kansas City.
Yeah.
After she died, I can't tell you, I probably had 50 people come up to me and tell me stories about what my mom did to help them. Same thing with my dad. When my dad died, Ron Rhodes, Ron's IGA, sent me an incredible letter telling me how my dad gave him his first job and what that meant to him. So I still cry when I read that letter. So Ron, thank you. So I decided I was going to leave Pittsburgh and never come back because everybody knows your business. And
when was that?
Well, that was 19. Well,
when you were a teenager?
I graduated in 1970 from Colgan High School, and decided I was going to go to KU. And my advisor at the time told me if I went to KU, it would destroy me, it would corrupt me.
Oh.
And they were right. I had so much fun in Lawrence, Kansas. I went up the summer that the student union got burned down, or set on fire, and the computer center blew up. So it was kind of an interesting time. Moved back to Pittsburgh, and no one would give me a job because I had a degree in journalism, not even the Morning Sun. So I went back to the Morning Sun, and John Bender, who's long gone, gave me a job as a reporter. He wanted me to help Nikki Patrick. And if you knew Nikki, she didn't want help. And so whenever I would take a message, she'd like throw the phone back at me. And so I got a job here. I was the second director of community relations. And the person who had the first job told me all I had to do was read the newspaper and take rich people to lunch. And I thought, well, that's going to be a good job. But
that's class.
It didn't really happen that way. I worked for Sister Agnes Weber, one of the most amazing women you'll ever meet.
So did that move you to your career choices?
It inspired me to do more than read the newspaper and take out rich people for lunch, although I did that a little bit. And if I fast forward to today, those folks have been incredibly supportive of the things we're doing. So, Jean Bignell and the Millers, the Colemans, and Bess Timmons. I don't know, you probably didn't know Bess Timmons. You've probably been in Timmons Chapel.
Yeah.
Bess was an amazing woman. She called me to the parking lot one day and handed me a $6,000 check and said, go buy a field monitor. And I went, okay, that was easy. And interestingly enough, when I had Abby at the hospital, they used the field monitor during my labor and delivery. Yeah, so it's like, well, that kind of came full circle. So I also got my degree in news editorial, and I write a lot of grants.
Okay.
So that was, I tell the stories, and I to date have written $100 million in grants that I've gotten. I figured out early, don't write a grant you're not going to get. So I'm pretty picky. We're taking care of about 1 and 2 in Pittsburg. Very proud of that.
Right.
Some people think we're a center for poor people. We take care of everybody. So I subscribe to that. If you do the right thing, the money will follow, and it always has.
It has.
It has. We've added addiction treatment at the jail because we've discovered that about 80% of the people that hit the jail have some kind of addiction or substance problem.
Sure.
If not serious, they do at the time. And most of those folks have never had a chance to deal with that. About 18% of our money comes from federal grants. The rest we earn ourselves.
Oh, wow.
From patient service revenue. Our biggest payer is commercial insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield.
So we're getting ready to pull up to where the Family Resource Center is.
Oh, the new one. I was the old one.
And it was its own building, or it was in a building?
It was in the old Lincoln School. The hospital, the university, and the school district all came together because we all needed child care. Okay. And we tried to figure out what to do. We looked at the old Safeway building, which is now the Court building. We could not find. We looked at the Bolus building that was going to be closing, and
couldn't make it work.
It wasn't going to work. So the school district then closed a couple of their buildings, and Dan Nineswander, who was superintendent, basically gifted the building, but it needed lots of work.
So Family Resource Center came first.
Yes.
And the Community Health Center sprung from that.
Yes.
And so you're over here now at 1600 North Walnut, where the Family Resource Center is. When did you meet up? Well, was this something else and you bought it?
No, Jean Bignell gave us that. Dan Nineswander, who was the superintendent, Dr. Taylor at the university, Jim Taylor, and me, we were the 3 planning folks. And the Pritchett Trust had just been created. We walked into their board meeting, and they gave us the entire first year's allocation of the Pritchett Trust.
Wow.
And so we had enough money to hire a project manager. We walked into that building. I think we got it in June when school closed, and we had to completely redo it. Oh, the Perello building.
So what are you building over there?
It will be the education center for one of a kind. We're going to have doctors, we're going to have dentists, we're going to have pharmacists, we're going to have psychologists, we're going to have lawyers in training. So dogs and cats living together.
Menace Drive.
Yes. Gene Bignell made sure that Dan Menace got recognized for. He brought. We did Kansas Mission of Mercy. I don't think you were here then.
No.
But it was still the most successful Mission of Mercy in the history of the program, which continues. He went to the corner of 10th and Broadway, where 924 North Broadway, that had been an auto parts store, bought it, called me. I was at a conference and said, "I'm finishing a dental clinic for you." And I said, "Dan, we don't have any money." He said, "Don't worry about it." So my goal was to establish the highest quality, most accessible health care in Southeast Kansas. We had vaccine before anybody else did in the state of Kansas,
yes,
because of our size.
I remember that.
And the feds called us and said, "We're going to give you vaccine." I'll tell you, every attorney in Kansas City and Topeka drove to one of my clinics for vaccine, because they couldn't get it in the big city. So if I could move the needle a little bit, if I could get people living longer and healthier, I'd be happy. The thing that I get the happiest about is I get calls, and somebody said, sometimes you get calls and people complain. I know you do.
Never.
Yeah, but I cannot tell you how many people have called me and said, "I came to your center and people were so kind."
Oh, that's the best.
And I think I grew up seeing people be mean to people who didn't have as much, or who might not have been as smart, or as pretty, or as fast. And I wanted to always recognize that everybody has value and everybody has something to give. And I have found an incredible team. So the greatest satisfaction I get is when someone tells me how kind my staff has been to them, because medicine is often not about a drug or some kind of procedure. It's about making people feel better. In the last 10 years, I have seen incredible progress toward thinking bigger, that we can save ourselves. We can make this the best place to live forever. And I think we're on track for that. I think everything I see happening around me, even the Morning Sun's owned locally again.
Well, it's been my pleasure. I don't know that we've done one of these in a while, and it's probably a long time coming for you, but I'm just impressed. I can't imagine that there's a person that's probably had a bigger impact on the health of a community than you have, and your friends and your partners. And
yep.
I just want to tell you,
it takes a whole village, trust me.
Working here, it's made we're all about quality of life, and you've taken that. And before I got here, you were already doing it, and I'm sure you'll be doing it long after I'm gone. But it means the world to the community, and it's been my pleasure to watch you and learn from you, because you do a great job, and it's not an easy job. We know that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And like I told you when I got in the car, my mother said never get in the car with a strange man. But I will always make an exception for you.
Thanks, Krista. You're the best.